Hey, how you guys doing today? My name is Theo, and I want to put a warning out to all my friends and family and those who have home um, home warranties for their homes, for any appliances or anything that you may have. And I want to say that um, do not, and I repeat this, and you can make your own choice and your own decision, but do not invest your money in any of these home warranties, especially Choice and First Home Warranty. They are scams and they are ripoffs. I'm going to be very quick about this. I was with, I think it was First Home Warranty. I was with those guys for about 3 or 4 years, and I actually put in a claim with them, and for some reason, whatever the claim was, I can't even remember why we decided to switch. But they denied my claim, and so I mean, I had been basically paying them the I guess the initial fee that you pay for them to have somebody come out to your house. And I think to have somebody come out to your house was about $65 for the initial fee. But they came out to my house to fix something, and I can't even remember what it was. But they refused to fix it or whatever. They just didn't want to fix it. So I dropped them and I went with a company called Choice Home Warranty. Now, Choice Home Warranty, I've got everything on Choice Warranty. I had my pool. I had my pool, or not my pool, but my pool equipment. Uh, all of my pool equipment. I have a saltwater pool. All my pool equipment. I had my refrigerator, my washer and dryer. Trying to think what else. Oh, I had my dishwasher. I had my range top and my stove, all on the contract, and my water heater and my AC unit, and trying to think what else did I have on there. But I have all my appliances on there. In the contract, when you first talk to them on the phone, they're nice and they, oh yeah, well, we can do this for you, we can do that, and they talk bad about the other warranty companies, and they say, oh, those companies are trash and this and that. So I mean, I'm not a big fan of trash talking other companies or other contractors or anything like that. I'm not a big fan of that, and I think that when most people do that, they are just trying to cover the dirt and the mud that they have on themselves. Because if you're good at your job, you'll come in and say, this is what we can do for you. And they're honest and they're upfront about it. So it actually raised the initial fee that we had to pay to $75 a month. And the $75 was for contractors or technicians, whatever they want to call them, to come out and fix your appliance. Now, we weren't having any problems, and probably about, I would probably say, 2 to 3 months after we were with the company, our ice maker broke on our refrigerator. And I mean, stuff breaks, it happens. So I called a company up, Choice, Choice Home Warranty. I called them up and I asked them, I said, hey, my ice maker stopped working. Can you guys send somebody out? So they said, yeah, sure, we can send somebody out. So I'm like, okay. Well, and they said, well, it'll probably be a couple of days because we need to find somebody in your area. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. I mean, we can go without ice. I mean, ice is not critical. You know what I'm saying? We can go without ice for a couple of days. So a couple of days went by. We had a gentleman come out to my house, and this is where I made the mistake. Okay, this is where I made the mistake, and I'm not blaming them for this, but I made this mistake. The gentleman comes out to our house. Now, he did not give us a card. He did not give us a worksheet. He did not give us anything that told us who he was. He was here in a Frigidaire van, and he pulled up in my driveway. And I have video cameras all around my house. There are no blind spots outside of my house. None. Okay? Because I'm a security geek. Okay, that's just me. So he pulls up in this Frigidaire van, comes up, and so I'm not paying attention. I'm just like, okay, well, he's pulling up in a Frigidaire van. So, I'm thinking, okay, I give him, I give him a reasonable doubt. I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking I don't have to ask questions. A guy pulls up in a Frigidaire van, you think he works for Frigidaire, right? So he comes in, and me and my wife, we go into the kitchen with him to show him the refrigerator. So he's like, okay, well, I'm going to be a few minutes. I'm going to take the ice maker apart. So I'm like, okay, cool, and so I go back to sitting in the, in the living room to watch TV. And then my wife goes into her den to watch or to finish work. So the guy's in there, he's working in there. He's probably in there about 45 minutes to an hour. Then he comes out and he says, I figured out what the problem was. And I said, well, what's up? He said, well, the fan that pushes the cold air to make the ice stop working. So I need to replace the fan. So I'm like, okay, cool. And he says, what I'm going to do is I'm going to order the fan and I'm going to have it shipped to your house. When you get the fan, call me and I'll come back and install it. And then I asked him, I said, well, wait a minute. I said, first of all, I'm not going to pay you that $75 until the job is complete. Because I'm not going to pay you 2 times. Because if you didn't have a fan on your truck, which you should have had, I'm not going to pay you to come out here twice. So he's like, yeah, okay, I understand that. And then I was like, okay. So we waited, and it was about 3 days. The fan arrived through the mail, through regular or partial mail. Not Amazon or anything like that. It was regular partial mail. So we get the fan, and I told my wife, I said, hey, the fan's here. And she's like, okay, well, I'm gonna call the gentleman. I'm gonna call the guy. Now, she did have his number. I remember she did have his number. So she called him. He didn't pick up the phone. We thought that was a little strange. She's like, well, maybe he's busy. Okay. So she says, well, I'll call him tomorrow. Okay. So she calls him tomorrow. And he doesn't pick up the phone. So she comes and tells me, she's like, hey, I'm trying to get in touch with the guy that came to work on the ice maker, and he's not picking up his phone. I said, can you try him? So I tried him. Go straight to his voicemail. So I said, hey, this is Theo. You were out at my house. You worked on my ice maker. The fan's here. Can you come back out and install it? He doesn't return our calls. He doesn't answer any of our calls. So me and my wife starting to get, yeah, this is a little strange. So then she calls his company that he worked for. Not the warranty company, not Choice Warranty, the company that he actually worked for. They did not pick up the phone. We called them like 5 or 6 times. No call. They did not pick up the phone. So it's getting a little weird. So my wife decides, okay, well, I'm gonna call Choice. And she told me, she said, you call Choice and figure out what's going on. So I called Choice. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? The guy that you guys sent out here, he's not picking up his phone, and the fan that he ordered to be mailed to our house is here. So what's going on? I said, can you guys figure out what's going on? So then they proceeded to tell me that I should keep trying to call him. And I'm like, why should I keep trying to call him? You guys are the warranty company. Isn't that your responsibility to make sure that he's out here fixing the ice maker? And she's like, no, we leave that up to the customer. I said, I was never told that. And I was like, look, I said, no, you guys need to get in contact with this guy and figure out why he's not coming out to fix the ice maker. That's not my job. Okay? I hired you guys as a warranty company. Your job is to fix the refrigerator and then stay on it until it's repaired. So she was like, okay, well, give me a day or so and I'm going to call and see if I can contact the guy. So I'm like, okay, not a problem. So a couple days go by. I don't hear anything. And I'm like, man, this is getting really weird. So I called Choice back and I asked Choice, I said, hey, what's going on? I said, why aren't you guys calling us back to let us know what's going on with the ice maker? And she was like, oh yeah, we spoke to the guy, but he said that he was never at your house and he was at your gate. He was at your front gate and you guys never answered the gate. I said, wait a minute. I said, he was at my front gate at my house? And she was like, yeah. I said, well, my gate has a call button. And there's also a sign on the front of my gate that says if you need entry into the property or you're making any kind of deliveries to hit the call button. Now, my call button is tied to my cell phone. So I could be anywhere in the world, anywhere where I have phone service, anywhere in the world, I can open up my front gate and let whoever I want to come in. The guy never hit the call button because I never received the gate calling my phone. So I said, well, he's lying. He was never here. He was here. He was in my home, but he never came back. And she's like, well, that's not what he's saying. I'm like, I don't give a damn what he's saying. He's not the customer. I'm the customer, and I'm telling you, he was not here. So they were like, okay, well, we'll send somebody else out. So I'm like, hey, do what you got to do, but get my ice maker fixed, because I'm at the point where I'm getting pissed. So they send another technician out. Takes a couple days. So they send another technician out. So the technician comes out. I get his information. I get his card, and I get a invoice saying what he was doing to my ice maker. So he goes in. He spends about 45 minutes to an hour taking the ice maker apart. But he doesn't say anything else. He says, I have to get the whole ice maker. He's like, I've got to order the whole ice maker. And I'm like, okay, I don't know anything about ice makers. I don't work on refrigerators. So he's telling me, yeah, he's like, looks like the ice maker's bad. So I said, okay, so all right, order it and then let us know. So he leaves. Okay, we've got his card and we've got the invoice for what he's gonna do. Now he leaves. And then a couple days go by. Another couple days go by. And I'm like, okay, it shouldn't take that long to order a part, right? Unless it's coming from overseas, maybe. Okay. So we wait for about 4 or 5 days. So I'm like, okay, cool, all right. And no, I'm sorry. No, it wasn't 4 or 5 days. It was a couple of days. We received an email from Choice saying that your claim has been denied. And I'm reading the rest of the email and I'm like, our claim has been, how's our claim been denied? And then it says that the technician that was out there that was working on, he said that somebody had been tampering with the ice maker. I said, tampering? I said, what do you mean tampering with the ice maker? He's like, yeah, somebody was tampering with the ice maker. I said, the only person that had messed with the ice maker was the technician that you guys sent out here the first time that lied and said he was never at our house. He was the only one that touched the ice maker. And he was like, that's not what the technician said. I said, let me ask you, how, if I have a warranty company, why in the hell would I go and work on the ice maker when I don't know anything about working on an ice maker? Why would I do that? And they were like, well, we don't know, but we're gonna deny your claim. I said, okay. I said, okay, cool. But I also had another claim in with Choice, and I didn't want to cancel them because I had another claim in for my salt sale on my saltwater pool. So they sent a technician out, and I videotaped the technician doing whatever he was doing. Because like I said, I don't know anything about pool equipment either. That's not my forte. So he's over there working, and he looks at me and he says, are you recording me? I said, yeah, I'm recording you. I said, because the last technicians that were out here were full of crap, and they made up all this stuff to deny my claim. So now pay attention to this. So he's working on the salt cell, and the salt cell is the thing that creates chlorine to go in your saltwater pool. So I said, okay, but I said, hey, you did notice that on my front gate, it says that when you enter this property, you do not have any privacy because I am recording. You will be recorded when you come on this property, whether you doing work, whether you visiting, whatever it is. There is a sign on the front gate that says you will be recorded. And if you don't want to be recorded, then you do not come on this property because you will be recorded. So he was like, well, I don't understand why you record me. And I said, well, I'm recording you because the last few contractors that have been out here that Choice have sent out here have lied and have not told the truth. He's like, okay, yeah, all right. He's like, I'm looking at the salt cell, he does all this, and he's looking at the stuff. Now, be advised that I have a pool service. Now, my pool service tells me that my salt cell is bad. Or it's not my salt cell, that it's my my motherboard that controls my salt cell, which they wanted to charge me $465 to fix. And I told them, I said, hold on, I have a home warranty, and I'm gonna have them come out and fix it, because $75 is a hell of a lot better than $475. So the guy comes out and he says, yeah, it looks like your motherboard might be bad on your salt cell. This is the technician from Choice Warranty. So I was like, okay. So he was like, all right. He's like, I have to order the motherboard from, and then once I get the motherboard, I will come back and install it. So I'm like, okay, cool. Whatever. Sure. So he leaves. He was here probably about maybe 45 minutes to an hour. He leaves. Okay, and I got all his information. I got his card and the invoice on what he was doing. I got all that information, because you can know, hey, you fooled me once. Okay. Yeah, but you ain't gonna get me twice. So got all his information, got him on video, got him recording doing what he was doing, because I stood right there while he was working. So then he leaves, and a day later we get another email from Choice, and they said that your claim has been denied. And then at the bottom they explain why my claim was denied. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold up, why is my claim being denied now? And they're saying that we don't replace any electronics that control your saltwater sale. I'm like, what? Hold up, wait a minute. Okay, when I signed up, I specifically asked you guys if you guys warranty pool equipment and saltwater sale equipment. And they said, yes, we do. Now, the guy that was here that done the work was here for the salt sale and all of the equipment that goes with the salt sale. And now they're telling me they denied my claim. So I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I said, cancel my contract because I have already called my bank, and the $75 that you guys have been getting, you will no longer be getting. I will not pay for any cancellation fees. So you can come and try to sue me. You can do whatever you want to do. I said, but you're not getting another red penny from me. And I'll be damned. I said, I will lose everything that I possess in my life to fight you. I'm done. Cancel my contract. Now, and I'm going to tell you what I done. This is the key. This is the great thing about this. So I'm pretty handy when it comes to doing stuff. Like I can do outlets, stuff like that. And, you know, I usually do most of the stuff around here, around my house. If I need to fix something, I install my garage door. I did all that. I do all kind of work on my UTV vehicles. I do all of that. I change my own oil. I work on my tractor. I do all that. So I decided to go on YouTube and see exactly what it would take to fix my salt sale. Now, I'm thinking I'm getting ready to be out a whole lot of money. I go on YouTube. I put in my pool equipment, my salt sale. Guy comes on. I click on his video. He shows me, he's like, okay, you can get this motherboard right here on Amazon for anywhere between $26 to $75. He says, but I ordered, and this is what he was saying, I ordered the $75 one because it had 5 reviews. And he says, I can show you how to hook it up in 15 minutes. I said, what? You can show me how to hook up the motherboard in 15 minutes? Mm-hmm. So what I done was I got on Amazon. I ordered the motherboard for my salt cell. I installed it. I put it in. It took me 15 minutes to do it, and you don't have to program anything. Nothing. My salt cell kicked in soon as I tied everything in. Boom, boom. 15 minutes. I was out of the sun in 15 minutes. First of all, my pool company wanted to charge me $475 to install this thing that cost $75, which took me 15 minutes to install. So cool. All right. Man. Now, right now, I got a light bulb popping on the top of my head. It said go in and look and see how to fix your ice maker. Okay. Went in. It seemed like a little difficult. It kind of like seemed like it was a little bit beyond my range. So what I done was I got on Yelp, and I started searching for appliance repair people. Now I'm going to tell you something. If you live in the Riverside area, Riverside, California, I found this guy named Carlos. Dude, man, you talking about dude come out? He came out, and I asked him, I said, hey man, do you mind if I give you a hand fixing my ice maker so the next time it breaks, I can fix it? And he could have simply said, nah, dude, because if I do that, then, you know, if your ice maker break again, then I don't have to come out. He could have said that, but he didn't. He said, yeah, dude. He's like, come on. He's like, yeah, we can work on it together. I was like, really? And we started working. We were conversating while we were working. And man, I'm gonna tell you, this dude was so professional. He was so, I mean, nice and courteous, and like he was clean. He had put rubber gloves on, you know, and we've got granite countertops. And he was like, okay, do you have a towel where we could put this down on the... I was like, man, don't worry about it. You know, this is a ranch house, dude. You know, we live here, so don't worry. You cool. So he was like, and he was just telling me about, you know, all the stuff. And he's like, I do not work for warranty companies. He said, because they screw their customers over. He says, I do not work for warranty companies at all. And so we figured out, he pulled the ice maker out, and we looked in the back of the ice maker, and we could see where the last technician had cut the wires where the fan goes. He had cut the wires and then tried to put the wires back together using electrical tape. And the thing is that he had the wires touching each other with the electrical tape. It was such a horrible job that me and Carlos was like, what the hell, man? He's like, I can't believe that this dude would do this. And I was like, man, I'm shocked. Because I'm like this. I know how I do stuff, and I have a little bit of OCD. And I like to have all of my stuff pristine and make sure it's got good connectors and it's not gonna come apart down the road. And my grandfather always told me, he said, you do something right the first time, you never have to do it again. He said, you don't have to do it again. He said, if you do it right the first time, you don't have to worry about doing it again. And I've always done that. So me and Carlos are sitting here. We're using these connectors that I have that you can use a blow dry or I have a professional grade one of those heaters that heat up like, you know, you can use to heat up solder and all stuff like that, but it blows hot air. So I got the connectors. We put the connectors on. He's like, well, let's put the connectors on. Let's heat them up, heat shrink it. And then the connectors have a little bit of solder on the inside of the connector. So when you heat it, that solder melts. And when it melts, what it does is it melts the two wires together. And as it's melting, the plastic melts, and it keeps any kind of moisture from going in to the connector. So we did that. We got it together. We got it to working. And my man, hey, I'm going to tell you the name of his company is Easy Appliance LLC. Man, his name is Carlos. If you got any appliance that you need looked at except for AC, he does not work on AC. But my man, hey, he came in. I thought I was going to have to buy a new refrigerator. He came in, both of us, we hooked it up, and I have chickens, so I raise, you know, I have eggs, and I have people that, you know, that my friends and my neighbors and stuff, I give free eggs away. So I was like, hey man, look, how much is this? I'm not going to tell you how much he charged because, like I said, that may be on an individual basis. But I can tell you right now, he charged me so low that I was like, dude, you got to be kidding me. He's like, no. He's like, hey, you helped me and you had the part. So I really didn't. The only thing I done was showed you how to do it. And then I gave him a 20, and I told him, I said, hey dude, I said, get you some lunch, brother. I said, I got much love for you. And we talked, but I can't tell you. We talked, and then I told him, I said, hey man, before you leave, let me give you a dozen eggs. So he was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, have you ever had farm fresh eggs? And he was like, no, I ain't never had farm fresh eggs. I usually get mine out of the store. I was like, well, I tell you what, brother. I said, anytime you want some eggs, You can always pick up the phone and call me. And if I got some available, you can come by and get some anytime. So I'm just telling you guys, if you're messing around with these home warranty companies, don't do it. Whatever you paying that home warranty company for a month, this is my advice. Take that $65 or $75, create you and put it in your bank account. Put it in a savings account. Keep that money. Because if something breaks and you can fix it for cheap, or you can call Carlos if you're in the Riverside area, because he only deals with people in the Riverside area. But if you can get an appliance man that you trust to come over and fix it for you, do that. Don't mess with these warranty companies, because it's nothing but a headache. Now, I'm not one to jump online and talk bad about a company or whatever. And I give everybody their praise. Hey man, look, if you come and you do a good job, I'm going to pay. Okay? I'm going to pay and I'm going to tip. But depends on how you act. You know what I'm saying? If you're nice and you cordial and you on time and you talking to, and trust me, I've had other contractors. I have contractors in my house that I've had to literally fire on. Get out. No, get out, because you're not abiding by the contract that we signed. The one thing in California is that if it's a two-party contract and one party breaks that contract you can wipe that contract away. So I can't tell you the contracting company that I fired, because at the end of the day, I had to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. So that means that I can't go online and say anything bad about that company. But I can tell you right now, this is the way they have 5 stars. Is because if you have any issues with them, they are not going to let you get online and say anything bad about their company. So I'm just telling you that be careful, man. Do your due diligence. Do your research. And I know this kind of went on for a little long time, but watch the end of the video, man. I said, because you can save yourself a lot of headache and a lot of money by going on YouTube, looking to see if you can do it yourself. You might be able to do it yourself. You might be able to go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get you a hot water heater and hook it up yourself. Go on YouTube. Man, I'm going to tell you, YouTube will save you money. I love YouTube. If I want to fix something from here on out, if it's an appliance, now if it's out of my depth, I'll call Carlos. But if I know I can do it, I'm on it. YouTube it, the model number, the make, whatever it is, YouTube it, and it's on there. All right? So I'm going to let you guys go, and I'm going to tell you that, hey man, at the end of the day, kindness is a great thing, because when you're kind to people and they're accepting of kindness, man, I'm gonna tell you, your life will be 150% better when you kind to people. And all it takes is just, I mean, you ain't gotta kiss nobody's butt, but you be kind. All right. This is Theo. I also have a YouTube channel called I Ain't Everybody's Uncle, and come on there and check me out, man. I'm getting my podcast up and running in probably the next week or so, and I want you guys to come and join me. I'm gonna try to have entertaining stuff that everybody can relate to. All right. I love you guys. Peace out. Have a good life.